Have two cylinders working here. Let's set one down at the bottom that will go underneath your knees. We'll roll this one up. We'll set this one long ways so that your spine can rest on there. And feet-wise, you can put feet together if that feels good. Otherwise, we'll kind of just rest your legs any way that you need. Arms can rest down at the sides, or you can cactus the elbows. Give yourself a little bit of room here. Just kind of wiggle the body against your props so that you feel supported. And we'll close the eyes. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Again, breath in. Breath out. Seal the lips, fill the belly. And a gentle exhale out the nose. So we're going to let our breath do most of the work here as you lie against your props. Feel for that expansion in the front of the body and how your body pushes against the blankets underneath you. And as you exhale, feel that letting go, that melting, grounding sensation. With each of your inhales, carve out a little bit more space and time for yourself. And what I mean by that is allowing for all the external things outside of your room, outside of your home, all of those things to be pushed to the edges so that you can really focus on breathing in the here and now. Relax the space between the eyebrows. Keep a little separation between your top and bottom teeth. We'll scan through the body and notice if you're still holding tension in your usual spots, whether that's in the hip flexors, in the jaw, or in the shoulders. I find that even in the relaxation process, where you might have actively let go of a certain muscle group that tends to tense up, that you might lie here for 5, 6, 7 breaths, and that tension will creep back in. So use each breath as a chance to scan back through the body and let go, loosen, release. Stay here for 3 more breaths. We can move this bottom blanket that's under your legs. Let's off to the side and out of your space. We're going to bring the legs in toward the body. Then let's roll over to the left, coming into a fetal position just off of the blanket that's under your back. So you should still feel the blanket under your back. And then we're going to open your right arm out to the side as your knees drop to the left. And your arm might float. You might be able to touch the floor. It doesn't really matter here. We're going to just get a stretch across the chest into the shoulder area. Let this right arm get really heavy. Release the space across the chest. Bring the right arm back over to the left. Just stay here for a moment. Feeling whatever sensations are lingering in the right arm, right chest, right side, and the shoulder. All right, we're going to take our entire body over to the right side of your blanket. Start to move the knees over. You might need to use your arms, lift yourself up and over the blanket. So now you're resting on your right side. And then we'll open the left arm out behind us, wherever it ends up. Bring your left arm over to the right. We'll rest on your side here for a moment. You can move this blanket out from behind you. Roll back through center. Bring onto the floor. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Take a gentle rock here, side to side. Set your feet on the floor. We're going to cross your right ankle over the left thigh, coming into figure 4. You can adjust this any way that you need. If you want to bring the legs closer into the body, if you want to leave that left foot on the floor. If you're close to a wall, another nice option is to put the left foot on the wall while the right leg crosses over. You kind of use the press of the wall is some resistance. Gently release the legs. We're going to take the feet as wide as your mat. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. You're ready to set up on the other side. We'll cross left ankle over the right thigh. Find whatever variation of figure four that you want to take here. Keep the low back relaxed into the floor, and we'll breathe in and out. Again, trying to let go of muscle tension, the usual spots where we tend to hold our stress. We'll bring both feet back to the floor, and again, we'll take them wide on the mat. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. And draw the knees in. Take your knees for some circles, either separately or together. Go in the opposite direction. We'll roll to the left, press up. All right. Now we're going to set up for a few cat cows first before we get a little closer to the floor again. If you want to keep some cushion under your knees, feel free to add a blanket there. We'll stack the shoulders over the wrists. Tip your pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take your time rolling through the spine. If you need a little more in the mid to lower back, sink the hips about halfway in your cat pose. We'll just kind of find any spots that you need to linger a little or explore. Might need a little side to side movement. You might be rolling the head or the neck. Couple more rounds here. Then we'll come back to a neutral spine. We're going to stay on the knees with the hips up high. You're going to come onto the knife edge of your right hand and slide it at a diagonal toward the upper left of your mat. Drop your right elbow and relax your head against your right bicep. Left forearm is here for support. So as you add weight against your arm, tug your right hip back just a little, and you should feel a really long stretch running through the side of the body into the back. Come back up onto hands and knees. And let's set up on the other side. So left hand, you're going to slide it to the upper right of your mat. Drop your elbow. Put a little weight of the head against the left bicep, and then tug your left hip back. We'll come back up onto hands and knees. Take a couple more cat-cows from here. Let's see how things are feeling. Shoulder, back, hips. All right, from here, we're going to set up for a nice elongated child's pose. So I'm going to give you a few options to play with. So option A, if you need something just a little bit more relaxing, you can fold your blanket into that long rectangle shape. If you have a bolster, this is a great spot. Oh, all my stuff is falling. It's a great spot to put a bolster and get snuggled in like this. Take the knees wide so you can rest down. Now, I'm dealing with a sinus headache, so my option, I'm going to grab a block. And I'm going to set my forehead, so right across my brow line. I'm going to set that right toward the edge of my block. And I'm going to take my child's pose this way, so I have a little extra press there. Now, if you're doing either the bolster variation or the blanket variation, you can also stack your hands and pick a side of the cheek, right side, left side. I'll give you a heads up when it's time to switch, and that way you can also get a little neck stretch from there. So, and grab whatever props you need, set up however you need. Make sure that your legs are happy behind you. You can always add a little cushion under the thighs so that the hips aren't too low and adding too much pressure on the knees if you have any kind of knee stuff going on. So you can let everything that's facing the floor, chest, belly, arms, legs, all of that can be as heavy of weight as you can release. Focus your breath on expansion, not only in the front of the body, chest and belly dropping down, but also in the back of the body, behind the heart. If you're resting on one cheek, go ahead and turn the head so that you can find the other cheek. If you need to come out of your child's pose and readjust before you come back in, feel free to do so. Gently press your way back up. Move some props out of our space. And we'll come back onto hands and knees from here. Take some movement, whether that's cat-cow or moving through the hips. Okay, let's find a comfortable seat. You can be cross-legged. You can have a little cushion underneath you, whatever works best for you here. You're gonna take a nice long side stretch from here. So let's crawl your right fingers off to the side. Plant the hand, open the chest first. Keep your left sit bone down, and we'll take our left arm up and over. One more breath here. Come all the way up to the other side. Curl your left fingers out, plant the palm, open the chest. Right sit bone stays down. And take your right arm up and over. Inhale all the way back up. We're going to sit tall here. Drop your shoulders down behind you. Keep the chest broad. We're going to tuck the chin. Just drop it down toward the chest. Feel the weight of the head stretching into the back of the neck. And if you want a little more sensation than this, you can take the hands, place them behind the head. We'll keep the elbows narrow, closer to each other. And stay here for one more breath. And if you have the hands laced, release them. We're going to keep the chin low. Roll your right ear toward your right shoulder. Keep sliding your shoulder blades back and behind. You can keep the static where the head's just kind of leaning to the right. You might add a gentle shake of the head, dropping the chin toward the armpit and then lifting it toward the ceiling. And then we'll keep the chin low, pointing towards your right armpit. You're going to take your right hand, you're going to find the back left corner of your skull, so behind your left ear. I'm just going to let the hand get nice and heavy, adding some weight on the head. Keep this left shoulder relaxed and down. And then release the right hand. So we're going to roll the head back through center. Pause at center. Readjust your shoulders, sit tall. Let's move to the other side, left ear toward the left shoulder. You can either stay here static, feeling the weight of the head, or maybe adding a gentle rocking. Chin toward left armpit, chin up toward the ceiling. The next time the chin is down, we're going to leave it down toward that left armpit. And then we'll add the left hand to the back right corner of your skull. Let your left hand get heavy on top of that side of the head. And keep the shoulders relaxed. One more breath here. And then we'll release your left hand. Roll the head back through center. And then lift your head up through center. We're going to lace the hands at the base of your skull. I'm just going to cup the back of the skull here and keep the elbows wide. Lean the head into the hands. Drop the shoulders as you give a little lift up with the hands, trying to pull the neck a little longer. And then we'll gently release. Start to work back down onto the floor. We'll come onto your back. We'll come into spinal twist. So if you want to leave some props on either side of your mat, so that once you get a leg over to the other side, if you want to add a little cushion or lift under a leg, they're already there for you. So start with the right knee coming into the chest. Lengthen your left leg long. Take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll drop this right knee over to the left, maybe onto one of your props. Shift your hips to the right a little. And let the right arm open. Relax the low back muscles and the belly muscles. Let your right arm get heavy as it falls open to the side. Let your right leg get heavy, whether it's pressed up against a prop or hovering or toward the floor. Gently roll back through center. Reset the hips. Give your right knee one more squeeze into the belly. And then release the right leg. Let's bring the left knee in. Hold it in tight. And then we'll cross the left knee all the way over to the right. Shift your hips to the left. Give yourself plenty of space for the left arm to open. Bring your left leg back to center. Reset your hips. Your left knee, good little squeeze into the belly. And then we'll draw both legs into a happy baby. You can either grab for your big toes or the outsides of the feet. With the low back rest into the floor, you can add some movement here. And then let's set up for Shavasana. If you already have your blankets rolled up, this is a nice spot to just kind of tuck them under ankles, under the knees. If you have a bolster, you can slide a bolster underneath the legs that way. Get the shoulder blades flatten down into the floor. Let your feet flop open, palms turned up. Feel free to add blankets on top. Kind of soft comfort items that would make your Shavasana more comfortable. And get settled into the ground. Take 3 cleansing breaths here together. Full inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, release. Again, breathe all the way in. Empty the lungs. One more time, fill up. And let go. And let your breath come back to normal. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Feel the full weight of your legs dropping into the ground or onto your props. Feel the full weight of your pelvis resting into the floor. Make sure the shoulder blades aren't getting stuck. You're able to flatten and relax down into the ground. At the same time, keep the front of the chest open, collarbones widen, giving you plenty of room for the breath to move naturally. to deepen the breath. Bring movement back into your fingers, your toes, your wrists, ankles. Take a full body stretch, yawn, move your jaw around. Draw the knees into the chest. Roll over to your left, coming into fetal position. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Pressing up with your hands, find a comfortable cross-legged seat. Sit tall through the spine, roll the shoulders back. We'll bring palms to touch at heart center. Let's seal our practice today with a single Om. First, take a full breath in through your nose. Sigh that breath out. Inhale the chant. Om. Namaste.